Alright, and then it's in a minute, y'all. Welcome to Death Battle! We have Ant-Man versus the Atom. Two big small brain people. Who will win? That's what we're here to see. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Ant-Man, Marvel's founding member of the Avengers.
The Atom, DC's legendary Mighty Might.
Good things come in small packages.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yes, they.
We're just trying to get these out of the way.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And
That
it's our
movie.
job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Welcome to the new season, y'all.
Did you know that ants can lift 50 times their own body weight? That'd be like if you lifted a car straight over your head.
I did, thanks to my fun fact of the day calendar. Also, Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada yesterday.
Well,
Ew.
I bet your calendar didn't tell you that Dr. Henry Pym
I hate Hawaiian
aka
pizza.
Hank,
That's
was
just me, though.
considered a genius at a very early age. By 3 years old, doctors declared that he was smarter than both his parents combined.
He eventually majored
Wow.
in biochemistry and became one of the most successful scientists in his field. He had big ideas about shrinking the size of cargo to reduce shipping
He's like
costs.
135 pounds?
Logistics.
All of which made him a laughingstock in the scientific community and sparked a long-lasting insecurity and need to prove himself.
But he did it. He developed a working serum. He went from laughing stock to Christmas stocking.
Uh-huh.
The much better stock. Right behind.
I'm glad I'm watching this because, like,
So naturally, he
I don't
tested
know
the
much
serum
about
on
either
himself,
Adam
like any
or
self-respecting scientist would, and
Ant-Man.
shrank
Not as
down to the
much.
size of an ant.
And just when things
I don't.
started
I
going
haven't read the
south,
comments and
a
stuff like
sweet
that, but I
little
know a lot
ant
more about
called Ant
Ant-Man than
Hathaway
Adam.
Swooped in and led Hank safely back to his lab where he could return to full size.
Hank then
heard
harnessed
the new
serum
Ant-Man
and
wasn't even
became
that
the
good.
superhero.
I heard it was okay,
Ant-Man.
but what they did
Along
with
his new identity came a fascination in entomology.
Oh boy, it was
which
sad.
Makes total sense. Ants are fascinating.
Did you know that ants can talk to each other in a bunch of different ways? Through touch, sound, or even sharing information by barfing at each other.
It's actually called trophallaxis, and they're
Man.
not barfing per se. It's more
Worst
like
kid's nightmares:
passing food
falling
mouth
into
to
an
mouth.
anthill.
Gross! Hank figured out how to communicate with his new pets, not by barfing, but by creating a cybernetic helmet that mirrors an ant's antenna. And he's even developed genuine relationships with some ants, like
Bro,
Ulysses
imagine
S.
getting attacked by a
Ant
big ass
But he didn't
ant.
stop there.
Especially life
Hank
size,
developed
your
a lot
size.
of amazing tech like a stinger pistol
You'd
that
be dead.
focuses his bioenergy into a stun beam
ants
and
have armor
image-inducing
skin.
camouflage to mask himself as an ant. It worked so well it fooled Reed Richards, the smartest guy on the planet.
He also built a suit that runs on that nifty serum he made back in his lab. It lets him shrink thanks to the newly discovered Pym particles, named after himself. Ah, classic Hank.
And the Pym particle is the key to unlocking the fundamental constants of the
Oh,
quantum
God,
mechanics
math.
at play here. They enable you to decrease the distance between atoms. However, in order to do that, he'd have to change the Bohr radius, the ratio of electron mass to the distance the
Ugh,
electrons orbit
what
an
is
atom's
even-
nucleus.
What is that, bro? What is that math equation? That looks like death
Of course.
to your brain.
Like how when you make a bagel pizza, you can't fit
Oh my
the
God,
whole
I remember
pizza
that
on the
commercial.
bagel. Believe
It's an
me, I
old ass
tried.
commercial. Oh my
It's too
God.
small. You just gotta put less on.
That piece do look busting though.
Sure, Boomstick. So the Pym particles are actually displacing mass to an alternate dimension in order to maintain that ratio.
Oh, it's like having a second bagel to put the rest of your pizza on. I get it.
Bro,
But if
imagine
that were true,
if
he
everybody
shouldn't
had
be
that
able to punch
serum.
with full-size strength if he has less
The world would
mass.
go into chaos.
And he's definitely lighter, because otherwise he'd crush the sweet ants he rides, like Vincent Van Gogh here.
His mass is being replaced with massless neutrinos, but that doesn't adequately explain how he can have less mass and seemingly more mass at the same time.
Sure it does, Wiz. Trust Pym and his particles. Look at the guy. He's explaining the whole thing while wearing a lab coat. What's more trustworthy than
He is
that?
tall. Jeez, he's 6 feet.
You're the exception.
You think you understand this?
Oh, of course. He's small but
Ew,
strong.
what
He
is
knows
that?
something about a
What does
Boris.
that show?
I guess
What
you
is
wanted
that
ham on
behind
that
them?
Pizza, but I already made the pizza.
Will you take that coat off?
That was horrible looking.
Regardless, there is virtually no limit to Hank's ability to shrink, He can go beyond subatomic down to the underspace, a plane of existence below all realities in the Marvel Universe.
Do remember
And
that?
Hank has literally changed his biology. He's rewritten his own chemical makeup to prevent anyone else from changing his size. And he's used Pym particles so much, he's now got an energy field around him that lets him change the size of people or objects on the fly, through touch or by straight up firing Pym particles in the air.
Oh, okay.
He's never shy about using them either. He eventually supplied his wife, Janet Van Dyne, with some Pym tech to become the Wasp, his partner in crime fighting.
Yep.
The two ended up rubbing shoulders with A-listers like Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk to take down Loki. Ant-Man and the Wasp were actually
they're in
the
the
ones
Avengers,
that
though.
captured him and pitched the idea of forming the Avengers.
Unfortunately, Hank's insecurities started to creep back in, and he felt that if he wanted to keep up with the big heroes, he was going to have to think bigger.
Enter a bunch of those Pym-powered alter egos like Yellow Jacket and Giant Man, where he can grow anywhere from 12 feet tall to so big he can enter the overspace, the
What?
polar opposite of the underspace.
There he met Eternity, who called him Earth's Scientist Supreme. Something he won't let you forget.
Hank pushed himself to these insane heights, even though he knew the strain on his body could be fatal.
But he simply didn't care and kept pushing himself. Thus, his greatest and worst creation was born, Ultron.
Yep, all the Tin Man Tron was created by Hank, not Tony like the movie.
I totally forgot
But
this.
the mass
I literally
murder
forgot
bot thing
he made
turned out
Ultron.
Pretty much the same. Big swing and a miss there.
The fallout from Ultron left Hank in a bad place, to say the least. His guilt made him feel like an utter failure, and that his best work was behind him. This led Hank to do unspeakable things.
A real low-life move. And even though poor mental health doesn't excuse
can't
his
do
behavior,
that.
it was clear that Hank needed help. He suffered multiple mental breakdowns, endured the physical toll of the Pym particles,
Yep.
and had bipolar disorder that went undiagnosed for years.
So Hank finally did the best thing he could. He acknowledged his problems, got the help he needed, and committed to self-improvement.
And with that help,
Add
Hank
yourself,
slowly
King.
started making things right. He rebuilt the West Coast Avengers, gave Scott Lang his blessing to become the second Ant-Man, and finally defeated Ultron.
He created a backdoor Trojan infiltration
You father.
to defeat Ultron
Let
that
me
was
do what I
so
want.
advanced, it went on to replicate and evolve all on its own to create a new species made up of artificial intelligence.
They don't call him the god of modern AI for nothing. Hank has showed over and over again that he's an integral part of the Marvel Universe.
Not just by ways of his scientific contributions or victories in battle, but
Oh.
by proving that heroes come in all shapes and sizes.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Ray Palmer was born
That
to
ad
an
was
average human-sized
randomly well
person.
placed.
He grew up in
Not
the
even gonna lie.
Northeast, studied physics at Ivy University, and did everything Mama and Papa Palmer
He's also 6
told him
feet.
to do. Probably.
Everything was pretty typical for Ray until one fateful night when he took a walk to take his mind off a frustrating experiment and saw a meteor fall from the sky.
He ran off to the crash and found himself a life-changing piece of a white dwarf star.
The Omnitrix.
Immediately started messing around with it. Who wouldn't?
He discovered that he could focus
Literally the Ben
ultraviolet
10
rays
story.
through it and shrink inanimate objects. There was just one problem. When he shrunk things, they exploded. Every time.
I do not see the problem. Sounds like he found a foolproof way of blowing stuff up. Case closed.
Ray
Yeah,
was determined to figure out how to shrink objects without blowing them up. But first, he went on a hike with his nature club. And as a fellow scientist, I have to question his priorities.
But hey, it seems to work
Nature
for him.
Club.
I support it. Different hikes for different mics, am I right?
While in a cave, the ceiling suddenly collapsed, trapping everyone inside. After searching high and low for another exit, Ray found a small opening and had an idea. He could try to shrink himself down and get help, even if it meant he might explode before he got the chance.
That's a
Ah, he
high
didn't
risk
explode.
right there.
I hope this story has a happy ending at least.
Perplexed, Ray determined there must have been something special about him that made him uniquely immune to the explosive fate. Something super scientifically convenient. that we
Ew, that's
never
an
get
evil
more
ass smile. Oh
information
my
on.
god.
So he got to work and created himself a suit to harness the power of the white dwarf star and became the Atom.
Adam uses the white dwarf fragment to decrease his size while having control over his density, which makes a lot of sense
Nuclear
considering that
blast.
white dwarfs have the mass of a star, like the sun, but their volume is more like the Earth's, making them among the densest objects in space.
Just a teaspoon of the stuff could weigh up to 100 tons. That's one strong spoon.
Oh
When
my
Adam
god.
shrinks and shifts his weight, he's actually sending his extra mass to a dimension called the mass zone.
Where, Adam could maybe live forever. At one point, Ray's apprentice Ryan Choi was murdered by Deathstroke, but willed some of his mass to the mass zone and was able to survive in that dimension. So these guys can potentially cheat death, but would be stuck there without any outside help.
But from one scientist to another, what's
that
most
would suck,
impressive
though.
is Ray's creation of the Bio Belt. That's what allows Adam to use the power of the White Dwarf and shrink while maintaining
Just die
any
and
weight
just end up
from
in a different
immaterial to his
realm,
full
and you can't
180
get back.
pounds. There's even been times where it's stated that he was able to become almost as dense as a white dwarf star itself for a few seconds.
The belt is also how he can travel through phone lines or through the air, on currents or light beams. Over time, Ray has spread out the White Dwarf power to other parts of his suit, and now the Bio Belt acts as a utility belt for his shrunken weapons and tech. It also prevents his size or mass from being altered by any outside forces.
That's
While he
convenient.
can only increase his size back to his
Pretty
natural
convenient.
6 feet in height, his ability to shrink is near limitless. He can travel between subatomic space to the microverse, the foundation of all reality in the DC universe, where atoms become the size of planets.
Typically, he can increase back to his normal size.
So basically
with
the same
such
thing
force
like
he can smash through
like
diamonds. So if
Ant-Man,
Adam
but
increases
his own
size
universe
too
is
much
more-
while still within the microverse, he could blow up the entire fabric of reality from the inside out.
Shrinking down to that size means that he can shrink small enough to rearrange atoms themselves.
Yep, Ray can take individual molecules and rapidly expand them to cook up a small nuclear
Bruh,
blast. in the palm
imagine
of
you
his
get
hand.
something you
Oh,
couldn't do.
Ray
You're the only one that can
Palmer.
get to this point.
I just got that.
He also once disarmed a bomb by rearranging its atoms.
Maybe
At
he
that
can shrink
size,
other
he
people, I
move
don't
at
know.
the
I don't
velocity of
know
light.
about
So
their power
fast and
works.
so randomly, he basically acted as a barrier between any and all possible atom combinations. But come on, there's no scientific explanation here for him to have superhuman senses or awareness to comprehend being
The hell was that?
everywhere at the same time.
Ah, it makes total sense. If you're small enough, you can fit in almost everything, everywhere, all at once. Like
Oh,
how
yes.
you can fit an entire
Fucked up
pizza
game.
into a calzone, and then you have a whole pizza everywhere.
Oh my
inside
god,
the
this
calzone.
show. Oh my.
Man,
That's a
I get it.
nostalgia show right there.
Science is
Disney
pizza.
XD?
No! Science is all I have! Why are you doing this to me?
On top of all of Ray's amazing inventions and abilities, he's also got some more classic weapons, like a laser blaster and a frickin' sword he used to fight a giant crocodile. Relative to his size.
That was when Ray was
Okay,
believed
I'm
to be
about to
dead,
say.
but was actually just stuck at 6 inches tall and stranded in the Amazon rainforest, where he encountered an alien race known as the Catarthans.
And get this, he
The
ended up
fuck?
leading a rebellion against their tyrant king and became the ruler of all the Kardashians.
What kind of
And his heroism didn't stop there. The
kind of
Atom was
plot
a
story
very
was that?
well-respected hero, and was even asked to join the Justice League of America shortly after it was formed.
He fought alongside Batman and his best bud, Hawkman. And you don't fight with those guys without picking up a thing or two.
Impressive combat skills aside, Adam's greatest contribution to the legendary team was always
What is
his
this?
incredible
Is it another
mind.
show I don't
He
know
once
about?
created kryptonite inside of Superman by realizing that if he gathered up enough Kryptonian protons, they would eventually become radioactive.
While stranded in limbo, Adam realized
So what
that
does
if
he-
the
does
Flash
that mean he can
sped up the
kill
rate of a nuclear
Superman?
reaction stellar evolution to exhaust its core, they could turn a fire demon into
Man.
a black hole and use it as a wormhole to get back to Earth.
He's a brilliant, hard-working, and determined scientist
What I've
that
realized
never stops working
about
on a problem
both these
until
two-
he's found a solution. I mean, if I figured
They can
out
kill the
how to
most
blow stuff
strongest
up
people in
as
the
well as
world
he did, I would have stopped
by
right
doing
there.
the,
I'm
you know,
the hero that blows stuff up. Wouldn't even need to
going up the
change
booty
my
hole
name.
Ray
treatment.
Palmer lived the dream, going from research scientist to legendary superhero.
expanding
he picked up
that
the pieces
scientist.
presented to him and built something greater than the sum of its parts.
Who knew this tiny titan with massive brains would have just as much brawn?
Yeah, why
to
does it look?
back up?
Oh, why does it look like that? Oh my god.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data
All right.
through all possibilities.
I
It's time
think
for a death battle!
we're going with the Atom. We're going with the Atom.
You should pick on someone your own size, relatively speaking.
How did you do this? It's laced with a particle I've never seen before.
They're called Pym particles, and I'm Hank Pym, scientist supreme.
Why do you just have that
You
on?
should have knocked.
Why? Wait, he just grew like 15 sizes stronger. All those muscles. Oh damn. Oh. Oh my! I just realized what it was. Oh my god. Not the balls.
You're using pieces of a white dwarf star? That's cute.
Everything we needed already existed. You just needed to be smart enough to put the pieces together. Scientist Supreme?
A goofy fight.
Did you know that
Are they gonna
at
get in the
any
car?
given moment, there are about 2.5
Wait, it can't start,
million
never mind. What am I
ants
saying?
under your feet?
I mean, that makes sense, but why are you bringing that up right now?
This nigga got an army, bro. But I got Excalibur. Oh! Let me get him.
Took you long enough. Okay, let's try.
That didn't work on him. Yeah, the Cadillac.
I'll hack his belt. You lay low and let me know what you find.
Yeah,
Next
Yas
try.
Queen. Yeah. Oh, we in the particle level now. Oh, the blicky. Oh,
If I search every electron path in his gun and study their probability wave functions, I just...
it's such a smart. It's such a smart fight. Who can outsmart the smart? Okay, now we're going to the microverse. Ooh. They're not even growing like human size. They're literally just growing bigger enough to fight each other.
He must be reaching his limit. If we don't get out of here quick, he's gonna destroy all of reality. Now, my pets! You have your tricks and your tools, but I created something beyond the limits of human existence. I operate on a scale you can't even comprehend.
Ooh. Overspace.
How?
You can't be afraid to think big.
Oh my god! I've got the answer inside of him.
Ant-Man and Atom both had many answers to each other's abilities and arsenals. Both were able to store various weapons at a shrunken
That
state.
was honestly-
Both were trained in judo, and they both could obviously keep up with
Wow.
each other's ability to shrink at will.
Though there was one
I'm mad I
small
lost,
thing
but I'm
Adam
not mad I
couldn't
lost,
answer
'cause,
to.
like,
The ants. Hank's bond with
his
pets
ants
lent him some
literally
small
helped him
advantages
ju-
and
they literally
traits.
jumped
Have
him.
enough anti-ant tools in his bio belt.
But in Adam's defense,
He told him,
the
this
fact
is
that he
a
could
fight
punch
back,
with a fist
fight
packed
back,
with all
nigga,
of his
fight back.
mass meant that a close-up fight, while small, would leave Hank with few options since he can only punch with his normal human strength.
Even still, all Ant-Man would need to do is keep his dissed ants with the help of his insect confidants and devise another plan of ant-tack. Something Hank has no shortage of.
Alright, you're
For
done.
instance, Ant-Man could alter Adam's size thanks to the Pym particle field he generates. Hank would just need to stall long enough to remove or disable Adam's biobelt, and he's had no trouble hacking enemy tech in the past.
But even with the bio belt busted, it wouldn't stop Adam's ability to shrink since the white dwarf power is contained throughout his suit. Destroying the belt only
This fight
meant
was
that
great, I'm not
Ant-Man
even gonna
could
lie.
alter Adam's size.
Whereas Hank has literally rewritten his own biology to prevent outside size alteration. And while Adam's abilities are definitely
I just didn't know who
impressive,
would
they are
honestly win
limited,
this,
and
honestly. I
Ant-Man
just said a
simply
name.
aren't, at least by comparison. Hank could
I don't know
always
much
match
about
his
them
size, or
anyways.
just take the fight to the overspace where he would have the edge, both physically and mentally.
The overspace can mess with the human mind, but we've seen that Hank can handle it.
But if the Scientist Supreme is really so smart, why didn't he just immediately go up Adam's butt and blow him up from the inside?
That's what I'm
What's
saying.
wrong with you, Wiz? Aren't you a fellow man of
They
science?
can both do that,
This is
technically.
the meanest thing you've ever done to me.
Adam sized
They can
up
kill the-
Ant-Man,
they are
but in the
literally-
end,
I'm
he
saying
was
the
the
end.
one who had to say Uncle.
The winner is Ant-Man.
So dumb.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have
All
a new
right.
death battle releasing every 2 weeks this year. And click the join button to get new perks.
Let's see who
and
the
extra
next battle
content.
is. I'm
Planet level
excited.
members even see death battles before anyone else, so don't miss out.
Next time on Death Battle. Is that? Wait. Dark Souls. Wait. Dark Souls versus Skyrim. Dragonborn versus Chosen. Yo. Wait. Yes, it did get darker in my room. It's raining right now, so yeah. I don't have like a I like a thing light, so you know, buy me one. Anyways, this fight was actually pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie. It threw me for a loop because like I said, I don't know much about both of them, but like I did learn more. But it still didn't matter because you know I chose and lost. But I'm not mad that I lost at this one. I'm not. However, the next fight, that's gonna be something crazy because like I thought he was gonna put Elden Ring. Honestly, just all you're gonna hear is "you foul tarnished." That's all I wanted to hear. Like, but I'm not mad at this fight. I can't wait for this fight to come out. So I'm glad this is back. You know, I'm glad I know y'all are probably too. So if you guys liked it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, subscribe for more reactions like this. It helps support me. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.